your web server becomes the distribution mechanism for your client application. And the opt-in process is very simple. The person visits the site that's tagged, and applications fire. Fairly straightforward. And rules fire only according to the conditions that have been defined in the rule set. So there aren't other things that have to happen. It's just whatever the conditions are that you've written into the rule set. If the person goes to the web page and they meet those conditions, then the rule will fire. So if you are a website administrator that wants to deploy Kynetx on your website, this is one method to do that.
So if true is true?
True is true. True is always true. True fires. True makes things fire. So here's a little screenshot of where you get site tags for your application. So when you create a new application in App Builder, the site tags are automatically generated for you, and you can just insert those before the close button tag on your website. The next one I want to talk about, the next endpoint I want to talk about is a bookmarklet endpoint. So the deployment method for a bookmarklet for the end user, for the developer, the way that you get a bookmarklet is to download it from App Builder. Your distribution channels are really anywhere where you could allow somebody to download a bookmarklet from, and we have a tool called App Directory, or a place where you can post your applications currently called App Directory, from which your customers could download bookmarklets. The opt-in process for a bookmarklet is installing a bookmarklet, similar to installing a card selector. And the way that a bookmarklet endpoint works in terms of firing the application is the user actually has to invoke the application. So there are a number of different business applications for that. Maybe you want to build a rule which provides some sort of information about the website that you're on, but you don't want it popping up all the time. Put it in a bookmarklet endpoint. The user can click on it, and then the conditions and primitives that are written into the rule will be evaluated, and the rule will fire for the user. So it's a good choice for an application that you want to give the user more immediate control over in their browser. So if it's something that you want them to be able to just click on quickly, bookmarklets are a great way to go. Here's a screenshot of the page on App Builder where you can download bookmarklets. The code is there. It works in Firefox and IE. And you can either drag it up into your own browser or copy that code and allow people to download it from a different site. Okay, so proxy server, you all have experience with this one. The deployment method is installing a proxy server with the Kynetx API as a part of that proxy server. So you can invoke Kynetx applications directly from the proxy. It has to be on a proprietary network. Obviously, you have to have control over the network to be able to install it. And the opt-in process is the user accessing the network. Now, I want to just kind of pause here and talk a little bit about the term I'm looking for is EULAs. So with your application, you have to think about the way people use it and the information that is going to be gathered, and think about a policy, privacy policy and access policy for your application, and think about what types of rights you need the user to grant the application. So you can't really just deploy a proxy server and then do whatever you want. People will obviously view that as evil and will disconnect from your network. We want you to be open about what your applications do, and we want to give you ways to message that to your customers as we move forward. As it stands right now, we don't have what Sam described earlier, kind of a threat assessment of an application so you can see what's going on. And the user has ultimate control over whether or not they participate in an application. So we view that as an important safety valve. But for things like closed networks that people join, so if you imagine being at the airport and you have to accept the terms and conditions for joining the free Wi-Fi at the Salt Lake Airport, we would envision the things that you're going to do in your Kynetx applications being a part of those terms and conditions, which Doc Searles so eloquently described as nobody ever reading them, which we don't, but you need to do it. And as far as deploying the proxy server, if you want to do a proxy server, this is one deployment method that you ought to talk directly with us about, and we'll help you do it. So a single-purpose browser extension. This is an exciting way to deploy a Kynetx application, and it's a new feature. I told Sam that I would embarrass him, but I have sat by Sam for a number of months, and I've seen him almost literally pull out his hair going through the pain of getting IE browser extensions to work. So he has already felt all that pain, and now you don't have to. So our platform becomes a very powerful browser extension development tool. You can make the case for people using Kynetx as an extension development tool rather than writing their own, because we've already gone so far and created the ability to have these network-based applications that execute against your browser extension. So the deployment method, very simply right now, is to select browser extension in App Builder. And distribution of your browser extension really depends on your strategy for the application and whether there's a community that exists already. Whether there's a community that exists already that you want to distribute this application to. The user action required to fire rules is basically what's written in the rule itself. So that after they've opted into the browser extension, and if it's on, then the rules will fire. So it's a good choice for communities, affinity groups, evil loyalty programs, and the like. Doc Searles got my joke.
I'm multitasking here, sir.
Right on.
That makes it better.
Here's a screenshot of where you go to get browser extensions. And those two buttons right there cost Sam a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. So use it with impunity, enjoy it. Yes. Thank you for that. The next one I want to talk about is a slight distinction from single-purpose browser extensions, and that's what I call OEM browser extensions. So if you're a company that already does browser extensions, or if you have customers that already do browser extensions, you can integrate Kynetx into those existing browser extensions and take advantage of our platform. We've got at least one person here from Backcountry, and Backcountry creates browser extensions for their customers to maintain relationships with customers. They're not using Kynetx for that yet, but I hope to talk them into that. So if that's the scenario that you see, then you can integrate Kynetx into existing browser extensions. And I want to show you an example of a OEM browser extension. One second. So the question was asked before about firing rules on telephony platforms. I'm going to show you an application which has recently been approved by the App Store. It's not released yet, you can't download it yet, but this is an application. This is...
It's a tough room.
I'm going to do this real fast. Pardon my pause. make this